Sananda, via Pamela Kribbe, June 26, 2017. Dear people, I am Jeshua, your friend. I am with you during this moment as a brother. Accept my companionship, my presence, for I'm not far away. I want to caress your heart with my hand to remind you of who you are, and of the unity that binds us together. Greet me in return, open your heart to me. I am a messenger of the oneness, and I kneel down before you, because you are my brother, or sister, and I see in you an equal, a soulmate. I respect what you do, and who you are on earth. This is one of the darkest places to be incarnated as a soul in a human body. To remember who you are when here, and what is your cosmic origin, your greatness, your vastness, your eternal nature, is quite a task, because everything here seems to be focused on forgetting yourself, your deepest essence. What you have learned here from an early age is to trust only your sensory perceptions, what your eyes, ears, and nose tell you is the true reality. The material world around you is regarded as the epitome of what is real, solid, and true. Especially at this time, in which the scientific worldview has penetrated everywhere, there is great skepticism about the ability to see farther than the sensory, physical reality. To see what the inner eye, feeling, and intuiting with the heart, is dismissed as not real, as superstitious nonsense. This is a great paradox, because it is only at the level of the soul that you find out who you really are. It is precisely in the inner world, and not in the outer, that you find yourself. You are led astray in this society, because so much emphasis is on the importance of appearance, and on external, and testable knowledge. According to this society, something must be observable with the senses, or be reasoned out with the mind, to make it real, and true. But what about all the feelings with which people are struggling, the deep loneliness, and futility with which many have to deal? That is a fundamental problem in the world, not just an individual problem. There is a deep existential crisis in the world that eats at the hearts of almost all individuals, so there is need for soul as a source of meaning in daily life. Who, or what is that soul? It is a sign of courage to explicitly search for the soul in today's world, to let go of the compulsion of rational restrictive thinking, and to search inside to discover what is alive within you at the deepest level, especially if it differs from the existing standards and social ideas. You slowly descend into your inner world where you find not only the light, but also the dark. For it is precisely when you open the gate to your inner world that you also become aware of all your dark parts. It is then when you will be tested, and it will be necessary to rely on the larger reality of that soul to see that even what seem to be the darkest parts have meaning. To again recognize, and feel the soul is desperately needed in this world. It is the way back home, back to who you truly are. It is from the light that is ignited there that you can imbue the world with new ideas, new energy, courage, and confidence. So much is needed here that can flow into the world from the channel of an awakened soul. There is so much grief, so much pain, and suffering in this world, and I do not say this to discourage you, but to point out how important, and urgent, it is that you recognize, and feel the soul in your life. In this way, you become a light, not just for yourself, but also for others. How do you connect with your soul? This world is so alienated from the soul that this question is almost never asked. It is a question that is never presented to children as they grow up and attend school. How do you connect to your inner world? And not only with your emotions and transient moods, but with what lies behind your inner world? Is there a more permanent world, the world of your soul, of the energy of your unique chi, your soul's energy? That possibility is not even recognized, so you are not taught how you can ask for, and connect with that world. And the result is such spiritual poverty that has come about in this world. To explain to you what is the reality of the soul, I invite you to imagine that you are in the last hour of your life, that death is approaching, and that you will pass over the threshold to the afterlife, to life after death. This you have already done many times, because you have lived many lives on earth. And in all those lives you have crossed that threshold in the end, sometimes with more peace in your heart than at other times. But even if it was a difficult transition, and you died with a sense of struggle in your heart, you also experienced an intense liberation by what happens when you, as your soul, are released from the physical form. The more you die in peace, the happier the transition, but in all cases, there is in the letting go of the earthly body a deep sense of relief, of falling back into a natural way of being that is so familiar, you do not understand how you could have ever forgotten. Go with me, and cast off all negative ideas about death. Imagine that you are at the end of your life, you give up the struggle, and in the moment when you let out your last breath, your soul leaves your earthly body, it very gently, and very smoothly leaves. Without effort, you ascend out of your body. Immediately, you feel the lightness, not only the light around you, but the lightness of your body, the suppleness, agility, and lack of heaviness, and effort. You are like a bird that immediately travels toward where your heart moves you. Let your imagination take flight. Imagine what happens if you are free from your earthly body, and move toward where your heart attracts you, in terms of a new environment. You might see a garden appear, or the sea, or a forest. It effortlessly appears for you, and in everything you see, you feel the life that radiates from within. All that leaves looks at you with benevolence. A gentle invitation emanates from everything you see, and the beauty is gorgeous, and dazzling. You feel joy bubbling up in your heart, and you think, ah, this is as it should be, this is normal, this is natural. Here I'm at home. You will encounter friends, and deceased relatives, and meet with guides, who all receive you with an open heart, who quietly allow you to be who you are, and who reach out a helping hand to you when necessary. You have now stepped into the dimension of the soul. Everything there is different. Space and time appear much more flexible, because you can suddenly be in a different place, if you want to do so, and, if your heart is attracted to that place. The inner takes precedence over the outer. If you connect with someone on the inner level from the heart, and your call is answered, you suddenly find yourself together in a physical atmosphere. Although not as physical as on Earth, here in the afterlife we can still speak in terms of forms. You have a body, that person has a body, and you can communicate with each other, but much more easily, and with less effort than what you are used to on Earth. Beside the fact that space and time are flexible, so is your bodily form. The form you assume is very agile and fluid. You can take on a physical form, and appear as old or young. The color of your hair, your eyes, everything can be changed, and that gives you joy. You choose the form that inwardly suits you, that feels good, and that facilitates communicating with another person. In this dimension of the soul, you see that the inner gives form to the outer appearance. What lives inside you determines what is outside, and around you. Feel that for a moment. What is it within you that gives form, that attracts those experiences to you, and creates them? Apparently you are not the form, not your body, because that can appear in different forms in so many ways. You are not where you live, or what role you play, because even that is very flexible and dynamic. What remains constant is here what you call your heart. Feel your heart for a moment. Feel how your heart, in that different atmosphere of the other side, is free to discover, explore, and encounter, and feel the joy of that. Then feel how much you knew, how much knowledge was in you. Ask your soul, if it now wants to appear to you in a happy, free, joyous form that is appropriate for this time. Or maybe your soul appears to you as a wise old woman, or man, or perhaps as a child, it does not matter. The soul now chooses a form appropriate for the optimal transmission of a message for you. Let your soul appear to you for a moment, and, if you do not hear, or see anything, then feel it. Feel the dimension of the eternal where you belong, and allow it to envelop you. At one time, you were that free bird, you essentially are that joy, that creative freedom. Allow it to descend into your body, into your abdomen. Be free, and live from that inner freedom. What is the purpose of the soul on earth? Why is it here? The soul wants to learn how to wake up in this dimension. This is a dimension in which you can so easily forget yourself in a very profound way, where you can become totally alienated from your essence. Your soul wanted to be here. Your soul is a messenger of God, a particle of this all-empowering energy that you call God. Your soul is one unique particle of that infinite, creative source. Your soul is working to develop over time, but not in the kind of time you know on earth. The world of the soul is so much more vast and immeasurable than you can gauge with earthly standards. As I said, time and space on the soul level are very fluid and very mobile, and are formed more from the inside than from the outside. You can say that the soul is emerging in this process by developing through all kinds of lives, and one of those lives is shaped by you. You are a unique merging of your soul with this earthly personality, so no one is exactly like you. You are also unique to your soul. This life is a unique circumstance wherein your soul wants to discover, and to deeply understand, what it means to be here in a body, and also to give of itself. Feel how great and courageous is your soul, although, in essence, it is you who undertakes this. You take the risk of this next step. Respect yourself. You are a great being, an inalienable part of God itself, but you routinely make yourselves far too small. You suffer the scourge of social prejudice, and concepts of good and evil. When I ask you to connect to your soul, I am asking you to unite with your light, and also with your fire. Light is also fire, and fire stands for passion, enthusiasm, inspiration. You are strong souls, and in order to enter into the adventure of incarnation on earth you need to have courage. You take a risk, because you can go into depths that are inconceivable, and you have gone through those depths, because you are not here for the first time. You have all gone through unimaginable depths in your lives on earth, and yet you are here again. So there is in you a deep conviction, a passion, a fire that makes you determined to be here, and to let your light shine. To connect with that fire, it is necessary that you also face your dark emotions, your dark side, or what you label as such. Everything that leaves in those emotions has a message for you: the anger, fear, hate, resistance. Everything that has been branded as negative has a life force within itself. Connect with that reservoir of emotions, call it up, it is allowed to appear dark and dim. In each one of you is a primal force, feel that from deep within yourself. Let that force come from the earth through your root chakra, and let it be felt. Become rooted in this earth, be confident of your strength, and put down your power onto the earth, and do not falter. You are too immense, too beautiful, too rich in inner treasures to now still do that. We need you on earth as a beacon of light, and the first step in doing that is for you to remember, to recognize who you are, and to make the dimension of your soul again alive in your everyday life, in you. I started this talk by saying that I respect you, that I kneel down before you, and those are not empty words. You are the ones who carry the torch of light in this world, and who go contrary to existing, restricting worldviews. And you do not do it by fighting with words, or even by force, but by an inner connection with who you are. You do it by putting the dimension of the soul first, which is something you were naturally used to doing when you were in that other world before you made the journey to this one. By once again remembering that reality, and allowing it to radiate in full conviction in this world, you literally bring light here. I thank you for your presence here today, and in this world. Do not doubt who you are. Be the bright, beautiful soul that you are. Thank you very much. Translation by Maria Bays and Frank Tayan.